start. All right, who wants to go first? Who's got a question, a deal, a scenario, something that they need help with?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'll just say I DM'd you. I think I got a lead because I was texting a realtor, and I think he got it, but
You said, are you Kevin underscore 05?
yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Just don't show it on the screen
No,
because it has a number.
yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so you're talking about the screenshot?
Yeah,
Can
the
you
screenshot.
submit? Can you submit a real offer, please? They would consider owner finance with 100K. Okay, so what's your question?
I was just wondering, like, what does he mean by like the 100K? Like, is he mean by the down payment or something, or what?
Yeah, yeah. He's either saying that they'll finance $100,000, meaning they want the rest as the down payment, or they'll do seller finance with $100,000 down. In either case, both of those scenarios are not going to work.
Oh, yeah, because I was thinking, maybe I should just counter them, maybe with the balloon, see what they can say about that. Because, I mean,
I would move
I
on.
like, oh,
I would 100% move on. I mean, based off the first sentence, can you submit a real offer, please? There's so much condescending. It's just dripping from there. Like they're not gonna you would be wasting your time. I mean, you could do it if you want to do practice, or maybe if you're picking up something that I'm not, but I wouldn't waste my time.
but because maybe I might counter them with a balloon. Maybe yes and maybe no. Maybe they might do it because the rental market in that area is pretty good, and I haven't really calculated just yet, but because I think it would be a pretty good return on investment on someone renting out that house. But but if I message them if they can do a balloon, if they say yes, do you think like an 8-year balloon will be perfect for this deal or not?
An 8-year balloon would be fine, but the balloon isn't the issue. The issue is the down payment. So if they want more than the $10,000 that you're offering them, or $20,000 that you can offer them, it's a dead deal. Or it's not a dead deal. Just my team's not going to push it.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm gonna counter them with the balloon and see what they say.
Awesome. All right. Let's see. All right. Does anybody else have a question? Alex, what's up?
What's up, Sean? How you doing today, man? Hope you feeling better.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm always great.
That's right. That's right. So I have two questions, Sean. So I have this cash deal, and I'm just not. I was like, in all honesty, I was kind of just like being. I was moving too fast, and I did lock it up and everything, but I haven't. I have some buyers that normally buy the deals that I send them, but it's not looking too well. I was trying to see if you could kind of help me to see like what I could do, or if I just gotta cancel the contract, which I
Oh
really
yeah.
don't want
Yeah,
to.
we can definitely take a look at that. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Is it on or off market?
On market.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go to my MAO. You said it is on market. What was it listed for?
It was listed for 184.
Okay. And how much work does it need?
It's turnkey.
Turnkey. So it doesn't need a penny.
Nothing. Not a
All
penny.
right. And then how much do you want to make on the deal?
I was trying to make at least 5,
Okay. All right.
and
Would you
I
lock it
got
up
it
under contract for?
175.
Oh yeah, no, that's not good. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. You
Cause
would
I try
have
to
to.
get them to go down. I try to get them to go down to like 160, but they're not having it.
Even that wouldn't have worked if it's on market. You would have to get this thing for, I mean, based off my calculator, you'd have to get this thing for about $105,000. And that's why I don't know if anyone has seen it yet, but there's this video I have on my YouTube channel, and it basically breaks down why we have to offer so low. And a lot of the other people who are teaching about wholesaling, whether it's Deal Sniper, Creative, Cash, whatever, they all confirm what I'm saying. It's just depending on how you look at it. they're either for it, meaning they disagree with me, or they're against it and they agree with me. So again, my point is this property is listed for 184,000 and it needs no work whatsoever. It's completely turnkey. There's no way in the world someone's going to take $105,000 for that.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what you would have to offer in order. I mean, I'm not surprised it's not selling, especially what you said in the beginning. You said most of the time your buyers who like the deals that you bring them, they just buy them. But this one they're not. Well, this is why.
Yeah. Okay. And then I have another potential seller finance deal that's on market.
Okay.
I'm in negotiating phase right now. So just of what they're asking. 1 second. Let me pull it up. Let's see, 1 second. Now I can't find it. Oh my goodness. Hold on 1 second, Sean.
No worries. All right. So while you're looking for that, why don't I see if anyone else has a quicker question?
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem, Sean.
Let's see. Amber, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Fantastic.
Nice.
How was training last night?
Training?
Yeah, the live.
Oh, I mean, I loved it. I watched
It
the
was-
first thing.
It was 3.5 hours.
That's okay. It was packed with information. It was, I mean, that's what it's for, right?
I felt like when I was editing the video this morning, I was listening, like I skimmed through it just to make sure I don't say anything stupid. And, you know, we're all switching the driver's seat role as, you know, for something that long. And
Mhm.
I felt like Wesley Snipes from Demolition Man, where he's like, damn, I'm possessed. I wonder if I can play some of the stuff I was like, damn, that was good.
You know,
So-
I did catch when you were like, and I admire it. I honestly do. You said, do you want to do this? You want to tap in? And then immediately I can tell now. I've talked to you so much that I can tell when you do that.
Can you really?
I swear, listen, I
That's
don't know
creepy.
if anybody else can, but I'm
Good.
pretty attentive. Like I said, I admire it because all of you are on point.
You know what? We're never bored.
Yeah. Oh, and you're not boring. So hey, you know it works. I can
I'm a
tell.
Sagittarius. We can't be bored. What's your
And
question?
this is why I like you though, because I'm a Gemini, and technically we're like they would call it sister signs. So
Yeah,
you
because
know
y'all crazy too.
exactly. I'm with you. Okay. But yeah, it was perfect. Anyway, if you could do like an underwrite for me,
Okay,
I've
what
done
kind of
it.
deal?
Of course, this is going to be a hybrid.
Should have guessed.
So I know how it goes, but he was very specific in what he wants, and I just want to make sure it works. So this is going to have some interest on it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, what's the original purchase price?
The original purchase price. Hold on.
Or I guess
Hold on.
what is the new purchase price?
Oh, what we're doing? Okay, 360.
360. Okay.
And then their mortgage is 181. PITI is 14. Interest rate 2.9.
Ooh, that's good.
Listen, amazing. Seller finance would be 153. So the cash to seller, I put 26.
153. Okay. And then we're getting 10. He's getting 26.
So he's asking for an interest rate of 3.5 though. So I popped that in there.
Now he wants 3.5 on top of the 2.9. So essentially our buyer's gonna be paying 6%.
That's what I don't know. So I put the 2.9 at the top, and then the 3.5 I put in the middle, but I'm not really sure if that is right.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So does that answer your question then?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So for anyone who doesn't not, you know, or is a little new, doesn't understand what's going on, we're gonna subject to a hybrid's called a hybrid because it's a combination of this one and this one. or seller finance and subject to. So when you're doing a hybrid, we're going to subject to the mortgage, that's this part, and then whatever their equity is, which is this part, we're going to do the seller finance. So if you want to figure out what the seller finance amount is, because that's the part that messes people up, there's a very simple math formula you do. You take the purchase price, that's why I always put it at the top. You subtract the mortgage balance, you subtract whatever you negotiated for the down payment to be, and whatever is left goes right there. That's your seller finance amount. All right, go ahead, Amber. What will it rent for?
25.
Okay. Are we doing short term?
No.
Okay. Realtor?
No.
Okay.
Let me see.
PITI, shit, I forgot.
Yeah, 14.
Okay.
And then they rounded it to 3%, the mortgage.
Yep. And then seller finance rate is 3.5.
Which it rounded to 4.
And then this will be 6 something, right? 687. All right.
Unfortunately. But in order to make it work, I bumped it to, well, I guess decreased it to 150. And because he's asking for that interest rate, I'm not sure if I have to put that 6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it works. Okay.
Yeah, you got to put that 6 because here's what he's asking. He's asking our investor to pay the mortgage payment. That's the subject to part, the 1,400, plus the 687. And the reason why it's 687 is because he wants the interest rate. If it was at 0% interest, I mean, technically it should be 425, but we can negotiate where you could put, 150 or 200 or whatever works. But because he wants interest, and obviously he's going to be able to do this, simple math, he's going to know the payment's supposed to be 687. So he's asking for 687. He's asking for $2,100 a month on a property that'll only bring in $2,500 a month, which is why the deal doesn't work for an investor. It may work for a homestead buyer, but it doesn't work for an investor.
Okay. I was thinking of maybe adjusting it to 2% instead of just flat out saying, nah, sir, that doesn't work.
We can do that. That's 565. It's probably, full disclosure, it's still not going to work.
Still not going to work. Okay.
No.
So that interest is what's messing it
The
up.
interest.
What makes it stand out to me is that he said he doesn't care about the balloon. And that's why I was like, okay, well, then maybe.
So his whole thing is that he wants to make more money on his property, like if someone was renting it out. So right now, think of it. Let's say he's living in this property, I'm assuming, right?
No, and that's another thing. He said
Oh.
they're using it as storage. I'm like, sir, just sell the thing.
Right, but you got to remember, if someone's going to do seller financing with their asset, then it's, even though it sucks for us and we have to work harder and negotiate to get it not to be the case, it's a absolutely smart and reasonable move for them to ask for interest because essentially they're doing us a favor. So we're like, it's no different than if someone wants to borrow money from a bank, right? It's going to be a lot of interest. Or you borrow money from a friend or an acquaintance and they're like, yeah, I'll loan you the money, but I need 2% interest. Well, you'd rather pay that. They're doing you a favor. So you don't want to think about the interest, even though that's still going to be a burden on you because now you got to pay an extra, 2%. But it's better than going to the bank. So the buyer, the sellers are essentially, anyone who says yes to agree to this, granted, yes, they're in a situation where they need the money or want the money or whatever, but they're doing us a favor. That's why I teach you guys how to talk to people so stuff like this doesn't come up. Now they're going to be sellers and real estate agents you're going to talk to where this is always going to come up. This is what they do, or this is what they know. So even if I talked to the guy, he would have asked me for the same thing. But yeah, this deal doesn't work. It would have to be, let's see.
Nope, it was 150. I'm telling you right now, 150.
What about STR?
Yeah, does it work as a short term?
It does not. The short term is only 200 more. Like in comparison to the long term.
Yeah. You can give him 200. Well, I mean, maxed out.
I mean, I put 150 there, just for some wiggle room. But the odds of that are slim, I know.
Yeah, technically the max you could give him would be 350. That's, I mean, absolute max. But at $4,500 a month, or I'm sorry, a year in cash flow, that's still like, what is that? $350 a month, 375.
Sure.
So it's still, I mean, it still fits the criteria. Doesn't mean an investor won't buy it. It's not as great as, $400 a month or $450 a month or whatever, but it still fits the threshold. But the issue is you'd have to get him down to 350.
Okay. And then the other thing, I mean, it seems like he was more so concerned about the interest.
Yeah, if that's his biggest concern, you've only got a couple things you can do. You can give him, it's on market?
It's Fizbo.
Okay, so that's good. You could give him a little bit more money on the purchase price, try and negotiate, and just tell him, like, send him this. He knows you're wholesaling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so send him this picture right here and say, hey, look, man, I put your terms in, and as you can see, this thing would be bringing in $456 a year. And as I told you, I'm wholesaling this to an investor. That's not enough for an investor. Here's what I can do. I can either give you more money on the purchase price, or I can give you a little bit more money on the down payment. I can get you paid off sooner with a balloon. I can do a combination of those, but I have to make sure this deal cash flows. Otherwise, my investors won't be interested, and I'd just be wasting our time. And I don't want to do that. Is there any wiggle room we can do on this to get that payment lower? It needs to be at about here, and then give him like 200.
Okay.
And then he's going to say either, yeah, that can work, or, oh, no, that's not going to work. And I say, okay, what's the best you can do? Because I need to be at this percentage. And with what you asked me for, I'm at this percentage. And you just talk. And then at some point, it's just like it is in movies and cartoons and shit. You're going to do the back and forth, a little bit higher, until you hit your max. And then if it doesn't work, then you're going to have to say, all right, man, well, if you're going to do more than that, then I'm pretty much tapped out. I can't go any higher, but good luck to you. My offer is good for 30 days if you change your mind. And then move on.
Okay. So the down payment, if we were to bump that to 10%, what are the best circumstances for that?
So it would be 36,000. You probably have to come down off your assignment fee, but not a lot. And then this would be 143. No, that actually made it a little bit. That made it much more worse to where you lost a lot of wiggle room. Yeah, so you can't do that.
Okay. So what I can do, I know what I can do because I played around with it. I just needed to see it from your perspective.
I got you. Okay, if I do back to the 26, it's an extra 10,000 on the purchase price. That's better. What was my max? 350. Yeah, that still works. I'm gonna get a total purchase price of 380. Unfortunately, we go too much higher. We got to kick another year to 2 years on the balloon.
Well, keep in mind he doesn't care about that. That makes it better, right?
Yeah, that's true. If there's no balloon, that's even better. And you can tell him, hey man, we can do like a 40-year term if you want. Like if you want to just keep gaining income off this property, we could do that. But the amount of income needs to come down. You know what? Find out when the maturity date of his mortgage is. Remember that other
maturity date? Okay.
Remember that other one we looked at? I don't know if it was yours or
yep, it was supposed to be over next year or 2 years from now.
February 2028 or something, 26, something like that. And then at that point, this goes away. Now, with that kind of balance, you're looking at 10 plus years. But if this guy really is more fixated on the monthly payment or getting interest, then what you can say is, look, why don't we do this? Let's split the difference. Okay, I can give you a little bit more than what I was going to give you. I'll give you the max that I can give you. It's not going to be the 687 that you're expecting. But what we can do is put this thing on whatever term you want. And once the mortgage payment is gone, then I can pay you. I'll pay you the mortgage payment. I'll just give you the $1,400 that we were getting. Because here's why. Long term wise, playing chess. By the time this is paid off, right? Assuming he agrees to that, because that's if he truly does not care about getting paid off anytime soon, then that means that he probably wants the guaranteed monthly income, which is why he's asking for the interest. So again, what he is asking for, even at 3% or 3.5%, that's very generous. Like he's doing us a favor, but it doesn't make the deal work. So if that's truly his motivation and he wants more of that monthly income, then say, look, when the monthly payment for the mortgage goes away, when we pay it off, then I'll just give you the $1,400 a month, right? And the reason why we're doing that is because this is going to be 10 plus years. Well, what is the rent going to look like in 10 years?
Right. It has to go up.
Right. So let's say it only goes up $50 a year, right? That kicks this up to $3,000. Stick with me. And then now this goes away because the mortgage is gone. So don't just ignore this. I just don't want to delete everything. But now we're just giving the seller $1,400 a month. Well, now we're making $13,000 a year. We're making over $1,000 a month. So did we go up in payment? Yes, we did. We were paying, well, no, technically the investor went down. They were paying $1,400 a month for the mortgage plus our max, which is what, $350. So they were paying $1,750 a month, and then they were only going to be getting $2,500, and the deal just barely squeaked by, right? But once the mortgage is gone, if we can agree, and you don't have to, I mean, I'm throwing this out there because I just want to get shit done, but you can say, hey, look, man, once the mortgage is paid off, if monthly cash flow is your goal, let me give you this payment now. We'll pay the mortgage off. Once the mortgage is paid off, then we'll give you this. It doesn't have to be the $1,400 mortgage payment. That's just a quick, correlation that you can make. Instead of giving you, I'll give you $350 now, and then once the mortgage is paid off, I'll give you the $1,400 mortgage. No big deal. Hell, I'll give you $1,500. Because remember, the rent's going up.
Okay. And then how would
Especially
you
by the time this thing is paid off? What's up?
how would you deliver that? Like if you could kind of pretend he's there.
What do you mean?
Like if you're pitching this, if you're saying this in negotiation, what would that sound like?
Well,
I know
shit.
you just did it, but I need it like formal, like you are actually doing it.
Okay, Amber, check this out. I put your numbers, what you wanted, which, I'm going to be very honest with you. That was pretty generous. A lot of people that I talked to, they ask for, 6, 7, 8, 9%. And, it's ridiculous for our purposes because, as I told you, I'm a wholesaler. The investors that I work with, they're looking to put a tenant in here so they can get some cash flow. So I really appreciate that you only asked for 3%, but I do have some bad news. I ran the numbers, check your phone. I just sent you a text message, or check your email. I just sent you an email. And I sent you a screenshot. Putting those numbers in, my investor would only be making about $450 a year in positive cash flow, right? And that's, I don't want to waste our time. But I did kind of pick up, if you can clarify for me, you said you don't really care about the balloon. Is your goal cash, like guaranteed monthly cash flow and just as much as you can get? Because if it is, then what I can do is I can give you the most that I can give you now to still make the deal cash flow, and then you're getting some money every single month. But then once we pay this mortgage off, I'll give you the mortgage payment. Whatever I'm giving you, until that point, I'll just increase it to $1,500 a month or whatever the mortgage payment is right now. And then I'll just give you that until you want to be paid off, and then I'll pay you off the balance. We can do that if you can work with me. Can you make that work? Yeah, you can. Just something like that.
Perfect. Okay. Now, would that scenario still apply if the cash were brought to?
Hold on. There'll be more, dialect back and forth. I just assumed he agreed with everything I said.
Oh no, trust me. Everything that you told me last night, I applied today, and I practiced it down to the T. And he threw a curveball, and I was still ready for that curveball. So it's okay. I just need like the gist, and I can go from there.
Yeah, my shit always works sometimes.
Yeah, no, always sometimes those great turn. Great. I like that. Cash to seller. If I were to bump that to 36, would it still be the same scenario as far as down the line they can do the 1400?
You can, but you're going to be giving him significantly less on the monthly payment until that point.
Okay.
So at 2%, that's supposed to be 528, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So that's the mortgage. Oh, hold on. I have to change the rent spec to 2,500. Good. Okay. So before, the most that we can give them was 350, and we were at like 10.32%. But if I put in 350 now with the higher down payment, like it's at 8.4.
Terrible.
So I think 250. You're losing $100. You lose about $100 on the monthly payment. So
Okay.
again, and that's still something that you can explain to him. This is why, and obviously not you because you did it, but to anyone who's new, stop being afraid to tell people you're a wholesaler. You want to work with someone that wants to work with you as you are, not however you pretend to be. And I'll tell you another thing. Spoiler alert, they're going to find out you're a wholesaler at closing. 100% guaranteed. They may not find out how much you're going to make, but they're going to find out you're not the end buyer. They're going to know. And now you just burn that relationship with that real estate agent or that seller. Just tell them you're a wholesaler. It makes it so much easier because now you can do what I'm about to suggest be done on this situation. You can literally just talk it out. So because he knows you're wholesaling, good job. Now you can tell him, hey, here's another thing that we can do, Amber. So I've got you at $26,000 down. If you're willing to take a little bit less on the monthly payment, on top of giving you more money once the mortgage payment is paid off, I can give you an extra 10 grand at closing. So instead of 26, you get 36. Now, are you okay with that? Or would you rather keep it at 26 and then just get as much as you can monthly now, and then we do the mortgage thing once it's paid off? How do you prefer?
Perfect.
And if you notice, I only gave you two choices. I assumed that you're going to agree with the $1,400 once the mortgage is paid off. So now it doesn't become an issue of are we taking the deal? And again, I'm taking a lot of liberties, assuming that the rest of the conversation went well, but I know what I'm capable of, so it would have. Once I get to that point, now it's just a conversation of you want 10 grand extra down and $100 less a month, or would you rather have the $100 more a month and just keep it at the 26,000? Now it's not even a question subconsciously on if we're doing the deal. We're doing the deal. You just have to tell me, do you want this one or this one? And that's the type of conversations you can have, because anything that you say to them always falls back on your buyers, on your investors. Look, Amber, I've been working with them for a long time, and I'm telling you right now, they are not going to take $450 a year. They're not going to. But we've got some options. So if you wouldn't mind, or if you're just way smarter than I am, grab a piece of paper and a pen. We're going to start jotting some stuff down. We'll figure this out. If it works, great. We'll move forward. If it doesn't, hey, you know what? I appreciate the time. It was awesome talking to you. And then you just you start explaining it, because now it's not you versus the seller or you versus the realtor. It's you and the realtor, you and the seller versus your buyers, trying to figure out how we can make this work. So now it's not a question of is it going to happen? Oh, no, it's happening. We just need to figure out how it's going to happen. And you're going to help me, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. So let's figure this out, and then we'll get everybody paid and get this done.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. At least that's how I would do it, or this version of me right now.
That's fine. I got you.
Oh, Alex, do you remember your question? Stone Boss, I'll get to you in a second. Or did you find that info? Alex, you're muted if you're talking.
Yes. Sorry. No, I lost it. It's okay, Sean. Whenever you get a chance, if I just would like to know how to calculate the cash flow on a short term, because I was still trying to get familiar with the deal machine calculator. I was just a little confused on that part.
Absolutely, yeah. As a matter of fact, I was going to, on the live last night, do a short-term example and then cut it out of the live and then just make it its own little video so you guys can just watch that whenever you want. I don't even remember if we got to that last night, but we can do it right now.
Okay.
So, first of all, before I do that, because that's going to be a long-winded ass answer, Stone Boss, what's up? You got a quick question or a longer question?
Yeah, it's a quick question. So I was on the phone with this realtor today, and I have a hybrid scenario. I'm just struggling with the deal machine to figure out how to make it work.
Oh yeah, I was going to tell you that. Let me show you. And don't even trip. Mostly everybody does this. When you get to the calculator, it looks like this and it's view only, right? You can't click on anything, you can't edit anything.
Oh yeah, I'm in it now.
Oh,
I'm
you're
in
in
it
it
now.
now.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was stupid. I don't know why I sent that request to you. My bad there.
So then what issue are you having?
So
Because now I don't get it.
So yeah, so this is so I have this hybrid scenario, and I mean I could give you the terms. You're going to help me, walk me through it real quick.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. That's a longer-winded question too.
That's a longer-winded question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this AirDNA one, and then we can do that right after.
Yeah, that will also help me on this too, the short-term part, because I think this is what I would need to do. So
Perfect. All right, so all you guys have to do is basically just copy what I'm doing. So let's pick someone fun. Is where I live on here anywhere? No shit. All right, look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this address. Now obviously this one has only been listed for 3 hours. This isn't one that I would typically use, but for the purpose of this example, I'm gonna run it from start to finish, also including the AirDNA numbers. So we're gonna go to Deal Sniper.
Are we recommended to pay for the AirDNA?
No, don't do that.
Okay.
No. My wow, can I say that? Is that racist? I don't think that's racist. Can I say that? I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say it anyway. So my ex, who I loved very much, she was Jewish. So
Okay.
she was great with money. We didn't pay for anything that we didn't have to.
That's right.
So yeah, if you don't have to pay for it, don't. The free version is absolutely fine for everything that you're going to be needing it for. If you're going to start building your own short-term portfolio, like your own internal one that you're going to keep and get cash flow from, then pay for it, because that'll have the tools that you'll need. But before that, nah, you don't need to do that.
Okay.
All right. So does it have a mortgage? No. I'm gonna clean up my numbers. Estimated rent, monthly payment, down payment. Okay, cool. So what do we got? 140, 130, 21, 9, 11, and 5. Okay. We'll do it under seller finance. 40, 130. Payment was 10. This was 21. We'll assume that there's no rental or more realtor. 45. That was 45. And then, damn, I don't remember what it was. 800? Let me see. Fuck. 900. Sorry, Mom. Okay, cool. So as this deal stands right now, this is a fantastic deal for creative. Too bad it's only been on market for 3 hours. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to AirDNA. I've already signed in.
Okay.
And I'm going to paste the address. Once it pops up, I'm going to click on it. And the only thing that you need from AirDNA is that number right there. And remember, that is your yearly number. So you need to know what that is monthly. So you're going to take $31,000 and you're going to divide it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. That comes up to $2,500, $2,600. So now that I know that, I'm going to put 2,600 right here. Then I'm going to go back to seller finance. And then now, same thing. I got to put in the taxes. I have to put in the insurance. And then the other thing, this is already pre-filled out. I wish it wasn't but you need to make sure this information is in here. Now, if you're new to the calculator, you look at this key over here, anything that's blue, you have to put in. Anything that's white, it will generate for you, like this here.
Okay.
This
Okay.
generates for me. This generates for me. It's the exact same thing across the board. So you can't type anything here. Okay, so it's like, well, where do these numbers come from? Well, they come from down here. And me personally, I max them all out. I give you a range so you can put it in, and I want to know if it's going to work worst case scenario. So I max out everything.
Okay.
Now I look at the deal. It's got a 91% cash on cash return. Who thinks that's a good deal? Hold on. Who thinks that's a good deal?
Great deal.
It's not.
Well,
No,
no, look at the cash
12%
flow.
like the bottom, right, Sean?
That is not a good deal at all.
We're looking
The
at the
cash flow
short
is too
term.
low.
There you go.
Yeah,
Darren, Amber. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Thought I was tripping.
No, the cash flow is not good. Even though this deal looks great, and this is the next level for understanding what these numbers mean and what it translates to an investor.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you guys got to make sure that anybody can lock a deal up for terms that the seller or the realtor just want, or that the off-market owner just wants. Anyone can do that. My dog can lock up deals like that. That's fine if you're just giving them what they want. And if the deal works, good, you got lucky. But you have to be able to interpret the numbers, because the worst thing that you can do is bust your ass getting a deal under contract only to find out that the deal is not movable to an investor because you didn't notice something. So what you want to look at when you're underwriting a deal using this calculator, you want to look at the entry fee percentage. We want that ideally as close to 10% as possible, and don't ever go over 20, and you start to get nervous if it's over 15.
Okay.
Your cash on cash return needs to be a minimum of 10 to 12%, and that is a bare minimum. That is, an investor sees and they're like, all right, yeah, I'll take a look at it. Once you get into the higher, like 12 to 15%, now investors are like, ooh. And then once you get into 20% cash on cash return, now you have a bidding war between multiple investors and above.
Okay.
And then the next thing you want to look at is the cash flow. The cash flow needs to be at least $300 a month, if not $350 a month. So you got to take this number, because again, this is yearly, and you want to divide it by 12. So if you take $9,000 and divide it by 12, you get $750 a month. So this thing is bringing, so it's great as a long-term rental. This is great as a long-term rental. And then people will, newer people will look at, well, this thing is a short-term rental at $2,600, so it's going to be even better. And the cash on cash return is, but the cash flow is not.
Okay. All right. All right.
So that's how you run AirDNA. You put the address in, and then now they've updated it. You used to have to change this. It does it for you. And you want to make sure it did it right. Just make sure that it doubled the bedrooms for the guests. 2 bedrooms, 4 guests. 3 bedrooms, 6 guests. Because you can sleep 2 to a room. And then you take this number, divide it by 12, put it in the calculator on the inputs tab for whatever deal you're working under short-term rental.
Okay. And then like if we're doing like a seller finance deal and the seller's asking for 20% down, that's pretty much a no-go.
That's a no-go. Yeah, actually, that's part of what we're going over next. Once no one has any more questions, I'm going to be going over a lot of the screenshots that have been in the community or that I get DM'd. Don't worry, I'm not going to show them, but I'm going to be reading them off on what the realtor says, and then we're going to be going over what the appropriate response should be, and then different variations of the same response. Because I'll see one person will send me a response from a real estate agent that basically means, send it to me on a contract. But then that same person will get another message from a real estate agent where they said, send it to me on contract, but in a different way. And then the person doesn't realize what they're saying. So I'm just going to go over different variations of the same thing.
Yeah, because that's happened to me before too, and I just didn't understand. I'm like, well, you said, like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally me too. The same problem.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through that as well. Actually, let me make sure that I can get back to that. So
and so for that deal that I showed you earlier, Sean, so I should just I was kind of, like I said, I was being impulsive on that one, so I should definitely just cancel the contract on that then.
You want me to tell you the truth? Or you want me to lie to you?
Of course, tell me the truth always.
Yeah, cancel it. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, some people
he
lie
tells
to.
the truth. He
Yeah,
tells the truth.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
give
why I
you.
like Sean, man. He tell the truth, man. He tell the truth.
All right. Alex, did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Sean.
No worries. All right. So Natalie, Amber, I'll get you guys in a second. Stone Boss, you got that information?
Yes, I do have the information.
All right. And then did you run the short term? Like, do you have this number?
Whoa, what number are we looking at here?
The short term rental number.
Yeah, no, so I just put it in Air DNA. So you take the projected revenue or you take the net?
No, you take the projected revenue. What's the projected revenue?
53.5K.
Damn.
Oh, okay. So then it's what?
4,000. Let me see. I just did it.
Yeah, $4,400.
$4,450. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll do. We'll just do 4,500. It's fine. Okay. Give me the rest of the numbers. What are they selling it for originally?
So this
What
is what happened.
numbers?
I got on the phone with a realtor and I started talking to him and I said it didn't work for the ones I really talked about. So he sent me one that's open to a hybrid deal. And they have the purchase price of $359,000. The existing mortgage balance is $305,600.
Okay.
Interest rate is 5.375%.
Okay.
And the part where I was tricky with is the PITI is 2,475. And then the seller finance carry would be it would be 28,400 with no payments, just a 3-year balloon, but an option to extend 2 years. The property does not appraise for the 80% loan to value.
Okay. So you've got
And
a 3-year balloon with a 2-year appraisal clause, no interest, no payment.
yeah, no interest, no payment.
What's the down payment?
And the down payment they want to receive 26,000 at closing, and it says minus real estate commission. I don't know if that means I got to add in my real estate commission to that, or if the
You'll
seller
have to get
pays it.
clarification on that to see. And it's one of those things where, I mean, you got to kind of be careful. Well, let's look at the whole deal first. Let's see how careful you have to be.
Yeah,
And
no,
be
and I
careful.
haven't even negotiated that. I haven't gotten back on the phone with him about this. This is what he sent me. I wanted to figure out
What's the LTR?
the LTR. Would be 80%. Well, what is the value itself?
No, yeah, like what's the rent? Like the long-term rent?
Long-term rent is it said 2,700. 2,700, yeah.
Oh no, you were thinking LTV? No, not an
Yeah, LTR, yeah. So 2,700 is the potential rent, and that's why. But he mentioned in this email that probably better for short term, and if you do long term, more of a pad split if it qualifies for a pad split area.
How many bedrooms is it? 4?
I have it right here. Let me bring it up.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it actually kind of does. If you
It kind of does. Yeah, I think it actually is a 3-2.
Oh,
3.
so then it would probably be closer to, instead of double, probably closer to just $5,000. Okay, that's an option.
Okay.
Right. That's an option. Okay, so before I move on, because I know you said that hybrids were giving you a little bit of an issue, any issues on this part?
On the input part,
Yeah.
so whenever I was doing the seller carry part, the seller finance part, I didn't know how to make the monthly payment. Like it should be 0 because
No. On the inputs part, this is information.
yeah.
So only the blue stuff is going to carry over to the other page. So even
Okay.
though, because at 0% interest, to pay this off in 30 years, you'd have to give this guy $79 a month for 30 years to pay that off. So
yeah, just the amortization. Okay.
right. But if I go to the hybrid tab and he wants no payment, just delete it. And then now there's no payment in the deal. So it
there's
won't
no
yeah, it won't
there's
factor
no
into
pay.
calculations.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, my screen looks the same. For some reason, I want to see what's different with mine because I'm looking at 11.73% entry fee, but you're at 11.75. I don't know what I did differently.
Well,
Oh, my closing cost is rounded to 7,400 instead of.
you put in the exact mortgage balance, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't. I just rounded it. That's why it's different.
Yeah, and I think they said it's not exact. That
Yeah,
was from
that's why I
March.
don't, because we have to get the final payoff from title anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I was just round it. But yeah, that's
All right.
why my entry fee is off by a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, 0.02. I mean, that probably doesn't matter.
No. Let's see. 5.38. I know you should remember. Okay, so unfortunately the deal doesn't. Oh, you said for short term. Yeah, I mean $8,340. That's like $820 a month. That's great.
But I haven't, I haven't gotten on the phone with the realtor yet to, full
But-
send it go. But I want to be able to negotiate him down because I'm honestly not just going to give him what he wants right away.
Why?
I don't know. I try to get the best deal possible. I
This is
don't know.
This is a great deal. I mean, and the only thing that I would negotiate on, if anything, and for me personally, I wouldn't. But yeah, it would be the down payment. But that would only be if I wanted to charge more for my assignment fee and didn't have the room.
Mhm.
As a short-term rental,
I got the
even
room
if you
too.
wanted to,
So, and here's one of my predicaments. I actually have a family friend who wants to buy a house in that area, and he already told me he wants to buy it, but he doesn't want to do the seller finance part. So I might get on the phone and just try to work the subject to part because I already got a buyer.
Well, when you say that your family friend or whoever doesn't want to do the seller financing part, meaning
They want to live
don't
there.
want, right? But what does that have to do with seller financing?
Oh, they when I was talking to them, they didn't want to have to deal with paying that 28,000. That's just what they were telling me. I don't have to do it to
in
them.
3 years?
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, you can
because this
always
would be
just
a
tell
home
them-
for them, not a rental.
Yeah, then I mean, you could work that angle, or you can just tell them, hey, then just give me $56,000 at closing for the entry
Mhm.
fee. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. It would just be a straight sub two.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was just thinking that because I didn't know. I mean, that would make my my dispo part really easy if I could just sell it over to a
Oh yeah,
friend.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. So yeah, so I mean, with those given terms, should I just still try to do it and then have you guys dispo it? I mean, I'll still try to dispo it myself as well, but
Yeah, yeah. This is what city is it in?
it's in Panama City Beach.
Oh yeah. Whoa, is there an HOA?
Is there an HOA? I'm pretty positive there's not. That could be huge there.
Yeah.
I had that question earlier. Let me see here. That changes the whole game.
I mean, not necessarily. As
Depending.
long as the HOA isn't ridiculous. What if it's $5,000 a year? That'll fuck it up. What if it's
It doesn't
4,000?
show an HOA on Zillow.
All right. I mean, I would definitely confirm that.
Confirm that too.
Sorry just to get on, but the problem is a lot of Zillow. I don't think they put the HOA, but I think if you look on Redfin, I think it will tell you that there's an HOA.
Just look on Deal Sniper.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
put it on deal sim. I gotcha.
Because I had this happen to me before when I was looking on Zillow, and it didn't show an HOA, but when I looked the same listing on Redfin, it does show an HOA.
Yeah, on Deal Sniper it shows no HOA. So.
All right. Yeah, then you're
Were
probably
you using Stoneboss? Were you using Redfin?
So this one I was using Redfin to call these agents, but this agent gave me a different property. So I called him about a different property, and he gave me this property that's open to hybrid. So I didn't ever look it up on Redfin.
Okay. All right.
All right. So does this answer your question about the deal? Yeah, I definitely think you should lock this up.
So when I go to Dispo, I got to pitch the short-term side of it to the investors.
Yes. Yeah, you will have your
Okay.
dispo mats as more of
Do
a.
you ever just show that these buyers like this type of calculation?
I don't show them like this screenshot,
But you
Not-
kind of give them like a little LOI
but I
or
will.
whatever.
I will give them not this. I won't give them this information. And the only reason why I don't give it to them is it's not that I'm trying to hide it. It's just that every single investor, short term, long term, flipper, doesn't matter. They're all going to run their numbers differently. So
Yeah.
I can show them this, and half of them aren't going to agree with it because that's not the way they were taught to do it. So they're going to run their own numbers anyway. So all I do
Yeah.
is give them the information that they need. Here's your purchase price. Here's your mortgage amount. Here's your seller finance amount. Here's your balloon. Here's your entry fee. Here's your cash on cash return based off of projected typical monthly costs. And then
Mhm.
they run their own because they're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Sean, for SDR investors, are they specifically only looking at AirDNA, or are they using other websites like looking at comps on Airbnb itself or Verbo, things like that?
There are some that will, and again, it boils down to everybody's going to do it their own way. A lot of it is going to depend on just how they were taught first and how
Okay.
open they are to new stuff. But to answer your question, what I'm seeing is the majority of people are still using AirDNA, and then some of the newer people are using AirDNA because whoever taught them how to do it is using AirDNA. But then they'll also verify it either through Airbnb or Verbo or something like that. But typically, AirDNA is pretty on point.
Got
And
it.
what about the
it's all-
confidence score on AirDNA?
How do you mean?
It'll say confidence score, then it'll
Right
show
here?
you low. Yes.
So if the confidence score is low, it means that, I mean, obviously you guys can read it, but basically it's telling you that this isn't the best this may not be the best area for
Short-term rentals.
a short-term rental, but not necessarily because of the market score. Case in point,
Mhm.
73 out of 100, that's pretty good. Meaning this is low for a different reason. And if I had to guess, it could be the neighborhood. So you maybe want to, do a street walk it on Zillow to see
Mhm.
if the market's if the area's a little rough or something like that. But I don't find that this is that big of an impact. Sometimes it is. Like if you're in an area that's just like, hey, if this is low and your market is low, then yeah, okay, move on. But if your
Yeah.
market score is good, I don't usually pay attention to this.
But assuming it's in Panama City Beach, it's by a beach, that's probably a good spot for a short-term rental, I would assume.
100%, yes.
Okay.
If you're looking
Well,
for
that
good
answered my
short-term
question. So,
rentals, you definitely need a niche.
okay. Okay, no, thank you for that. That does answer my questions. I'm gonna lock that up then.
Good job.
Man,
All right.
day 2. Already getting it going.
All right, show off. Natalie, what's up?
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So I think my
Good.
question is relatively simple. I spoke with an agent today, and
Okay.
he's ready to do a purchase and sale agreement.
Nice.
I heard
Wow,
you.
congratulations.
Thanks. I heard you mention, I think earlier in the conversation, to let them know that we're wholesalers. He asked for the buyer's information for the purchase and sale contract. So I'm just curious, what information exactly I need to get over to him. And also, it sounds like he's going to be using his own contract. So, in terms of like assignments, do we need to just send an addendum over? I don't know. I just got a few questions around contract issues, if that makes sense.
Absolutely it does. Okay, so first things first, did you tell him that you're a wholesaler?
No, I told him I was a buyer.
Okay. So that kind of puts you in a little bit of a box
Mm-hmm.
because now if you tell him the truth, then you look like a liar. So for all intents and purposes, whether he knew you were a wholesaler or not, you're the buyer. You're as far as the contract is concerned, you're the buyer. Now, when it comes to assigning the contract, what you need to do is look at it once you receive it, and it's totally fine that they want to do the contract. That's okay. You're looking for a couple of things. You're looking for how long is the inspection period. You want it at a bare minimum 7 business days. Ideally, you want 14 business days, and that's business days, not calendar days. Okay? The second thing that you want to make sure is when is the earnest money deposit due, or EMD? A lot of times they will say, even if they know if they know you're a wholesaler, usually it's an accident. But a lot of times,
Usually it's what?
An accident when they do what I'm about
Okay.
to say. But in this situation, they don't know you're wholesaling it, so they're probably going to do this. they're going to put in the contract that even if they give you the 14 business days or the 7 business days or 10 business days, whatever your inspection period you end up getting, whatever that is, they're going to want, and they're going to put in the contract that the earnest money deposit is due within 3 days of signing. That can't go through. Or you're going to have to put the earnest money deposit in. And I don't ever recommend that anybody does that.
Okay, so you're saying they're going to ask for it to be due within 3 business days of signing, and that's a no-go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a definite no-go. If you want to put the earnest money deposit down, you can. And then obviously push it like normal. And as long as you cancel the contract before the end of the inspection period that you guys have agreed on, whether it's 7, 10, 14 business days, as long as you cancel before that expires, you get that money back. So it's not like you lose it. I just don't ever recommend people put up their own money, just because of my ex. We were good with money.
Right. I heard that. So what type of period should we be advocating for then in terms of the EMD?
On or before the end of the inspection period or your due diligence period, whichever terminology they use. And basically what you're saying is, I want a 7 or 14 business day inspection, and after the inspection or at the end of the inspection, then I will give you my earnest money deposit. And the reasoning behind that is that 14 days is what you or us or whoever you're working with to find you a buyer. That's the window you have to find a buyer. And a lot of people don't realize this. The reason why I say business days and not calendar days is because 14 calendar days is 14 days. 14 business days is closer to 3 weeks. So it gives you more time to find a buyer. So,
Gotcha.
So, and here's the other thing too. 7 business days versus 14 calendar days. I'd rather have 14 calendar days than 7 business days. The 7 business days is going to be at max, 11 days? So, you figure it out. Usually they're not a stickler on business days or calendar days. Some of them are, but usually they're not. But yeah, so you want it to state that the earnest money deposit isn't due until the end of the inspection. And the reason why you do that is because hopefully during the inspection period, you found your buyer, you got the assignment contract, they're ready to go. So they're the ones putting down the EMD, not you.
Okay, perfect. So,
and then the last thing you want to look for on the contract, which is probably the most important thing, is sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes they will put it in the contract that the contract is not assignable.
Right.
If it's not assignable, you can't wholesale it.
Can we get them to add that addendum in there or something, or no?
Absolutely. Okay. But at that point, they're going to know that you're wholesaling the deal.
Well, here's what I want to say. When I told him I was the buyer, he alluded to the idea of me being the buyer or someone else. He needs that information. So it didn't seem like it was just, like he was just thinking that I was the buyer alone. It kind of felt like he was predisposed to me possibly bringing a buyer in. I will say that much. But he asked for the buyer's information. I mean, aside from an email and a company name, that's really all that he needs, correct?
Yeah, he'll need the email, he'll need the buyer's name. So, and again, whether he knows you're wholesaling or not, for this contract, the contract between you and the seller, you are the buyer. Always. And then once you find a buyer, then you sign an assignment contract with that person, and then that gives them the contract. So that means that takes you from being the buyer and makes them the buyer to pay and close and then own the house. So yeah, so you're still gonna have to give them your name. You're gonna have to give them your email address, company name. If you're using an LLC, you can just give them that instead of your name.
Yeah.
And that's all the information he'll really need. Other than you need to make sure, and I would do this up front because I don't like bait, and I don't like to do the whole bait and switch thing. I don't like springing things on people, and I don't like wasting my time. So I would let him know up front when you give him that information, either your LLC or your name and your email address. At that point, I'd let him know, oh, by the way, I need the inspection period to be whatever you feel comfortable telling them that you want.
Mhm.
And then I also need the earnest money deposit due on or before the end of the inspection period. And I need you to make sure that the contract is assignable. At that point, he is 100 or he or she is 100% going to know you're wholesaling the deal. And then you run the risk of, holy crap, I was lied to, or yeah, I assume that. So, it's 50-50.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Can't you double close? Or that
Um,
won't work?
Oh,
You,
yeah, that is an option.
you can double close, absolutely, but you're still putting down your own EMD
Earnest money.
for the other things that we went over.
Oh yeah.
So you
All
still
right,
gotta
thanks,
you still
guys.
gotta do that and the inspection window. No worries.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Amber, what's up?
So this is about the question that I had earlier. When it comes to the hybrid, if I am making an adjustment to the interest rate,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm sorry. If I make an adjustment to the monthly payment, that in turn makes an adjustment to the interest rate, right? So I need to specify that I can't do an interest rate right now until the mortgage is paid off, or
Right. Yeah, there's no interest on this deal. And which the way you want to explain it, he based off of him asking for it, he's not stupid, but it's gonna soften the blow or package it better than if you just flat out say, I can't do that. So I would say I would start off with the way that I started the first time. Hey, I appreciate you working with me. I appreciate you trying to do this. As you know, I'm looking for moving this to my investors. My investors need cash flow. I sent you a picture, text, whatever. Take a look. This is what they're going to make. That's not going to work. So with the interest that you asked for, that would have given about a $688 payment, if I remember correct. I think it was
right?
$687.
Yep, exactly.
So it'll give you that payment. We can't do that. Here's what we can do. And then if you're willing to take that, I've got, it's not just that. It's not just a no. It's we can do that for now. And then once the mortgage is paid off, then we'll just give you whatever you decide to give them. That's how I would say it.
Okay, so I'm not even referring to interest rate.
Yeah. You notice I didn't bring up the interest rate at all. I took the focus off the interest rate. I said your interest rate that you wanted yielded this payment. This payment won't work. Can we make this payment work temporarily until the mortgage is paid off? Then I'll give you more. So I just took the focus off the interest rate and just put it back on the payment.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
No problem. Alex, what's up?
I had a quick question. If we're doing a sub 2, right? Because I had a realtor, I offered that, and then she said that it would trigger the due on sale clause. Is that true, or I'm just a little confused on that aspect?
That's actually a good question. I don't think I've heard that one too many times. So a due on sale clause, for anyone that doesn't know, is when the mortgage company, when you do something that violates the paperwork that you signed when you first bought the house and got the loan from that mortgage company, then they can be like, oh yeah, you want to do that? Okay, cool. Give us all our money right now. That's what a due on sale clause is. Whatever you owe them still, they're like, cool, just give it to us right now. You have 30 days to give us all of our money. And I'm going to be very honest with you. If it's an online bank, Rocket Tree, Lending Tree, Rocket Mortgage, anything like that, they're 100% will do a due on sale clause. So you might want to get into the habit of talking to people with mortgages. And a lot of times they will already know this. And so they'll tell you. But if they don't, if it doesn't get brought up, it doesn't hurt to ask. And you got to ask carefully because you don't want to scare them either. So you just want to ask, hey, just out of curiosity, no, I don't need any specifics yet. Who's your mortgage through? If they give you a brick and mortar, old school kind of bank, they're not going to call the mortgage due. Most mortgage companies, 99% of them, don't give a damn who's making that monthly payment as long as they're getting it. They don't care whose wallet or bank account it comes out of. But for some reason, the online banks, they don't like it. So yeah, they will call it due. So just ask them who their mortgage is through.
Okay. And for the sub two, does it stay into their name or do we transfer it into the? Does it become assumable or
No. You got to make sure you get the terminology correct when you're talking about mortgages and subject to and hybrids. So the way that you say it exactly is our buyer or our investor, whichever one you like to use. Our investor is going to service your mortgage payment once we close. So the way that works, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the way it works, Alex, is at the end of the closing, you're going to get the $30,000 cash in your pocket that we talked about, right? And then the very next month or very next, whenever your new mortgage payment is due, my buyer is going to make that payment on your behalf. Now that mortgage is still going to stay in your name, still going to be under credit, but that mortgage payment is being taken care of by us. And after about 6 months, 5 to 6 months, that mortgage payment will not count against your DTI anymore because we're registering it with a third-party title and escrow company. So just think of it like a note on your credit report that basically says, hey, you see this mortgage payment? They're not responsible for it. Someone else is paying it. They just own the house. Does that make sense?
yeah?
That's exactly how you explain it.
Okay.
But yeah, so assumable, we don't do assuming mortgages. Our buyers don't do those. If you have buyers that'll do that, great. But the way a subject to works is at the start of the process, Alex, you own the property. It's under your name. It's under your social security number. When we close, I am making the payment for you, but it is still under your name and your social security number. An assumable loan means when we start, it's under your name and social. And when we end and close, it's under my name and social. We don't do that one.
Okay.
Or at least my team doesn't.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Cool. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions before I move on to the realtor stuff? Okay.
Yeah, Sean, just one quick question. When we're marketing a deal to end buyers, what's the timeline for them to submit the EMD? Is it 72 hours within effective contract?
Yeah, I give them 72 hours.
Okay, cool.
Unless there's some sort of extenuating circumstance, I give them 72 hours.
Got it.
All right. Let's jump into Discord. Now, again, I'm not going to share the screen, but I'm just going to go through some of the screenshots that I get, and I'm going to start answering them out for you guys right now. And then any variation that I can think of, or any variation that you guys can think of and you know what it means, blurt it out. We're doing this together. Okay, let's see. What does this say? It sounds like you just want to throw a half price offer, seeing if I will bite. Definitely won't. If your offer is 190 or higher, we can talk. So when you get something that sounds what I would deem as hostile, it's good to be curious and like, okay, but what do they actually mean? In this situation, basically what they're saying is, bring me a real offer, a cash offer, or leave me alone. If it's hostility like that, I'm the vindictive one, I would put that on my tracking sheet, follow up in a month if it's still on market. And in this situation, this chick's name's Julie. I'd say, hey, Julie, I noticed that property's still on market. My buyers are still interested and ready to close if you want to actually get this thing moved. Let me know. That's it. I don't chase any more than that. And then once it expires off market, I skip trace the address, call the seller directly and say, hey, yeah, I tried to give you this offer, but Julie wouldn't let me send it to you. So are you interested in this? And then I just work it as an off market deal. That's what I would do. And that's anytime I get any type of sly or just Karen or Kevin kind of remark, that's what I'm going to do. Even if I don't get that kind of remark and they just say no, I still do the exact same thing, but one's with a much different purpose. Because then I'm going to call Julie and be like, hey, we got that deal closed, by the way, and have a nice day. And that's it. And no, I won't do that. But that's how you kind of have to look at it. Okay, here's a new one that got posted that I actually don't see very often in the Discord. So it says seller will only carry paper for 2 years at 20% down. For those of you that don't know what that means, carry paper is just kind of like a cool way of saying owner financing. they'll only seller finance for 2 years and they want 20% down. And the 2 years, that's the term. Anytime they're bringing up numbers in terms of time, that's the term or the balloon. So carry paper means do a seller finance, do an owner finance. That's what carry paper means. Actually, there's one guy pops up on my TikTok like every day, and that's his go-to. I hear it so much, I almost said it once. I'm like, yeah, nah, that's not me. Okay, let's see. Oh, no, this is just someone saying that they got a deal accepted. Good job. All right, next. Here we go. Hello, there are certain forms that need to be filled out in accordance with the real estate laws and guides I have to follow according to the regulations for DBPR. I will write the contract. So first of all, this is an awesome real estate agent. And two, anytime that a real estate agent says, I need a blank contract, and it's usually all capital letters and something that is not an actual word. Like people keep calling it the TREC contract. TREC's not a word. Like that's not, or at least as far as I know, that's not a word. But all that is their state approved real estate contract. And when they say they have to use it, some states, yeah, they do require all transactions within real estate to be on certain contracts. But most of the time, it's just a contract that the real estate agent was taught with, they're more comfortable with, they know that contract. And if they're awesome like this real estate agent and they're willing to write it, that's great. Let them do it. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But just so we're all on the same page, we as civilians, and by civilians, I mean not real estate agents, when they say I need the blank contract, the letters, the capital letters, we don't have access to that. So you have to tell them, I'm so sorry, I don't have access to that contract. Is there any way I can send you my contract with all the terms and everything on it, and then you just fill it out and submit it to your seller? I have no problem using your contract, and I would fill out if I had one, but I don't. And 99% of the time, if they're open to a creative offer anyway, they'll do it because they want to get paid too. A lot of times, and I see this a lot usually when a realtor says something crazy, like call this one guy and you're a criminal, which the replies to that are awesome. Like these are so funny. But when it's something like that, just move on. They'll tell you. But if they're like, hey, they saw your offer and they're like, but I can't accept it because I need you to send me this particular contract or whatever, just tell them, hey, I don't have it, but I can send you my contract, and if you can write it up and give it to your seller, that would be great. I have no problem using the paperwork. I don't have access to that. They'll do it for you. They want the commission. They want the house to be sold. They want to service their client. And if they're already willing to entertain your offer and just say, hey, I need that contract, ask them to write it for you. They'll do it. All right, let's see. Nope, that is from a buyer. Let's see. Okay, here's one. It sounds like you are a wholesaler. What company are you with, and what sort of option fee do you offer in exchange for us taking it off the market for 2 weeks? So this one's good. This one's got a lot of new stuff in it. So it sounds like you're a wholesaler. Unless you are not, meaning you're actually going to buy the property yourself, or you're a real estate agent, do not say you're not a wholesaler. Don't lie. Don't lie. You're going to get caught. And it's going to make it so much harder for you. Just be honest. The reason why a lot of real estate agents don't like wholesalers, you want to know why? They got lied to by a wholesaler. What do you mean they're not interested in working with us anymore? So we need to change that. And I'm telling you, you get 4 or 5 real estate agents that know what you're doing and you build a relationship with them, wholesaling empire, just like everybody else on YouTube. As long as you do things legally and ethically and stuff like that. But I mean, the mix will be there. So it sounds like you're a wholesaler. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent, I am absolutely a wholesaler. I work with, and then you go straight into the POF answer that I gave you. It doesn't matter what most people will say to you as an objection or a rebuttal or a question or a concern. You can start the sentence with anything, just reiterating what their concern is, and then tie it right back into either the POF answer or the Y0% answer or anything else in the cheat sheet. You want to get really good at what you do. You want to start not sounding like me exactly, but being able to come up with answers the way that I come up with. Memorize the cheat sheet. It's all there. So, yes, I'm absolutely a wholesaler. And then I would go right into my here's what I do, here's what I've got, here's what I'm looking for. What company are you with? I see that one a lot. As far as the company I'm with, I mean, I have an LLC that I operate from, but I'm not with a company. What I've done is cultivated these relationships with these 9, 10, 12, 8 investors that I work with and that are looking for these properties. So I can give you my LLC, but I mean, if you Google it, it's not going to be anything there because I work with them directly. I've been cultivating these relationships for years. That's how you answer that question. I don't have a company. But you don't want to just say, oh, I don't have a company. You want to say, I don't have a company traditionally, but, and then fill it in with something that's an edification of yourself. Let's see. What sort of option fee do you offer in exchange for us taking it off the market? This one's interesting. So what that real estate agent is referring to is when they're working with wholesalers and they're okay with it, they understand that you as the wholesaler don't have a buyer right now. You're going to go look for one. So because you're going to go look for one, a lot of times the wholesaler will ask, hey, can you take this off market? Typically that's when they're offering cash. Or for creative financing, it doesn't matter. We don't need anybody to leave it on market. We don't need you to take it off market. And as far as an options fee, I'm not paying you a damn thing. Like, you've had this thing on market for 90 plus days and you want to charge me to help you? Like, nah, man, I'm not doing that. But luckily for you, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I don't need you to take it off the market. Like I said, I've cultivated these relationships with these investors for years. They're going to take a look at the deal, and if they want it, they're going to buy it. If they don't want it, whether it's on market or not, they're not going to. So no big deal. I don't need you to take it off market. And I'll tell you what, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, and you guys can use this one. Now, it's a gamble. Oh, God, is it a gamble? But if you found your property properly, meaning it's been on market for a long time, it's not moving, no offers, no nothing, you're probably safe. But I'm not going to tell you this cannot bite you in the ass, because it can. It's never bitten me, but I'm lucky. So here's what you can say. You can say, oh, you can say what I'm about to say at the end of this. I'm just applying it to this conversation to keep it going. Yeah, I don't need you to take it off market because, like I said, I've been cultivating my relationship with my investors for years. If they want it, whether it's on market or not, based off the numbers that we've got, they'll take it. And if they don't want it, they won't. But I'll tell you what I will do. If you can give me, because some of them are quick and some of them, they got families, they got other companies, they're just a little slower. So I'll tell you what, if you can give me 14 business days to allow them to do their due diligence and figure out if they're going to move forward. And then once I identify, like I said, I'll submit EMD proof of funds. No big deal. I can submit that. But if you can give me 14 days, I'll tell you what I will put in the contract. If for whatever reason you guys get another offer that you want to take while I'm in those 14 days, I'll just cancel the contract. You guys can move forward with that buyer. I'm not going to hold you guys up trying to have my people do due diligence. I'll just work with you on the next deal. Is that fair? Now, I want to make sure that I point something out, because sometimes people believe me and sometimes people, they don't. And again, I don't really care. But all that, the way that I was talking, the way I changed how I was talking, I mean, like I said before, I start talking real fast. That's all planned. That is all planned. That is all pre-programmed into my head. That's why when I tell you guys, people don't ask me for proof of funds, or they don't give me issues when I tell them I'm a wholesaler, because the way that I talk and the way that I posture myself and the way that I downplay the situation, like this is just business as usual. This is the way we do it. Where have you been? You don't do it like this? Oh, that's interesting. All that is that's programmed in. And I say that because these are little mini wins that I'm getting or that I'm planting all throughout the entire conversation. For any of you guys that have heard my recorded closing calls, that's why they're so long. Because I'm taking all that time and I am planting and planting and planting. So that way when I get to the end, they're already on board. I just got to tell them where to sign. I don't get those kind of rebuttal questions because of the way that I carry the conversation from the beginning. And I'm noticing, especially the ones that I've been doing one-on-ones with lately, you guys are starting to do it too. So good job. But yeah, you guys can absolutely use that line, because what are the chances that, and I hate to call it a line because, by the way, it's not a line. You are going to put that in the contract. And if they do get a buyer and you tell me, Sean, what should I do? Those of you who know me, you know exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. Cancel the damn deal. You told them you were going to do it. So do it. Now, again, so it's not a line. It's not a manipulation. There is a chance that they could get a full cat. It's happened to me. It has happened to me more times than I can count, where I've got a deal. I've got it locked up. Everything's good. I told them that. And I get a call like a week later. Hey, Sean, just want to give you a heads up. We got a full asking price cash offer the other day. And, the buyer wants to take it. And inside, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that hurts.
But out of my mouth, oh, that is awesome. Okay, you know what? Let me send you a cancellation form right now. Give me like 10 minutes. Hey, real quick. I know we didn't get to complete this deal, but hopefully you kind of got an idea of how I work. What other properties do you have that have been having a little bit of difficulty moving that might be open to a creative offer? I can put offers in on them too. And so now I'm building a working relationship with that real estate agent. I didn't tell that real estate agent, no, you're already under contract. I didn't make it difficult for them. I didn't say, fuck you. You already signed. No. I told you I'd let you out. All right. Yeah. I'm a man of my word. Let me send you that cancellation form. Because while I wanted that deal that I had under contract, by doing right by the real estate agent and then doing what I said I was going to do and then asking for more business in that way, I'm building a relationship. That real estate agent could send me 10 deals in a month. So yeah, do what you say you're going to do and use that line. You can use it at the end of anything. I'll tell you what, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I know you're not 100% comfortable maybe working with a wholesaler, but here's what I'll do. I'm going to send you the contract. Let's get it locked up. I want to get this house sold for you, but I'll put in the contract. If you guys get another offer that you would rather take over mine, I'll cancel the contract right then and there. I won't hold you guys up. I'm not that kind of person. And then I'll just work with you on the next deal. That's no big deal. Even that's no big deal.
Yeah.
That's all on purpose.
No big deal.
I am lowering what I call a predatory stance. I do not come off as a threat over the phone to you. So you have no reason to really put your wall up. And then you don't even realize it. But for those people who start with their wall up, I love those, because those are the people where 30 minutes into the phone call, I hear the same thing that I hear every single time. John, I don't know why I'm even telling you this. I don't know. You're just easy to talk to. But anyway, yeah. So what were you saying about the house? Every time for the people who start with their walls the highest. Because subconsciously, all this little planting that I'm doing, the adjusting my tone, the genuine, and I'm saying this right now, you're not going to be able to do what I'm trying to teach you to do unless you're a sociopath, if you don't mean it. For those of you that have heard my recordings, the emotion that's in those calls on both sides, that's real. I'm not faking, because people can tell. So if you're genuinely planting these things and having these conversations, chances are they're going to do what you want them to do anyway. The guard is going to the wall's going to subconsciously just come down. They're not even going to realize it. And then once the wall is down and I'm in, now I can start getting to your actual motivation. Now I can start getting into what you really need to accomplish, why you need to accomplish it. And then we can build an offer together, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and we will get you whatever you need, whatever that may be. Now you're on my team. Okay, so let's build this offer. Let's get this house done. It's time. Any questions? That was long-winded as hell.
No.
I'm just a comment. I'm like, you're just trying to lower the temperature.
Wait, what do you mean? Like
not starting an argument with the realtor. Just
Oh yeah. Oh, and here's another thing. You guys should probably be careful, because there's a lot of real estate agents in the Discord. Like, it's one thing if you post a screenshot when someone calls you a criminal and you want to make some jokes. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But things like all realtors are idiots, I wouldn't post that because they're not. That's not true. They're not idiots. I'm gonna tell you that the real estate agents that you guys will come across that don't want to hear what you have to say either do not understand it, that's not their fault, or another wholesaler screwed them over, which is also not their fault. If I walk up to you and punch you once in the face, you're going to flinch the next time I walk up to you. Why? Because the last time I got punched in the face. Realtors are the same way. Everyone's the same way. You do something to me once, well, the next time that similar situation pops up, I don't want no part of it. So it's not their fault. Now, the ones that are just blatantly rude or obnoxious or unprofessional, hey, that's just you humans. I don't know what y'all doing with that. But most of the time, they just don't know. They just don't know. So try and educate them on it. Or if they don't like wholesalers, show them why you're different. And it's going to take you longer. And it's going to be more work. And it's going to be a tough nut to crack, whatever cliche analogy you want to use. But if you get that realtor, if you turn them, now they're just feeding you business. You only need 3, 4, 5 of those. I mean, technically you only need one. But if you get 3, 4, 5 of them, oh my God, that's money. All right, we'll do one more, and then I will let you guys go.
Yeah, just be a decent human being on the phone, man. That's really all it is.
Yeah, just talk to people.
Yeah, if you don't know how to just create conversation, like for me personally, like, when I first got on the phone and like I'll be like, how's it going? They tell me how's it going. I'll be like, I'll probably bring up food, be like, yeah, I haven't ate nothing all day, and then just get into that. And we're not even focused on the house no more. And then we got to loop back around to the house. You just got to be a decent human being.
That's all it is.
You gotta stay on topic. You guys gotta stay on topic in order for it to like get it done.
I mean, if that's your style, yeah. But I mean, even my hour-long closing calls or even my discovery calls, if it's an off-market property or 45, 50 minutes long, only 10, maybe 15 of those minutes I'm talking about the house. The rest of it, I'm planting and building rapport.
Yeah.
So that way, once it's time to execute, the charges are already there. I just got to hit the button.
The only thing that sucks about that, like after you build so much like rapport, and then you loop back around to the terms, and y'all can't work it out. It's like, dang, we just became friends, but we can work something out elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. You can't work it out on that deal. They're not going to stop listing properties just because that deal didn't work. All right, let's do one more. Here we go. Thank you for the offer. This is a probate estate, and the proceeds go to the estate, which goes to the grandson for his inheritance, so seller financing won't work. So for those of you that don't know what, because this is another, I'm picking through the weird ones. This one's weird. So a probate estate sale is exactly what it sounds like. Someone unfortunately passed away, and everything, including their house, by order of the state or the will, whatever's in place, all of those assets, including the house, need to be sold, and then that money needs to go wherever it needs to go. And in this case, it's going to the grandson. So seller financing won't work. This is a very similar situation to if there's a divorce. So if you come across a property and the real estate agent says seller financing won't work, they're going through a divorce, don't respond back like, what about subject to? What about a hybrid? What if we give you more money? Now, I understand that I'm making a joke and that most of you or some of you or whoever's going to watch this may not understand. But on a divorce decree, the judge says that house needs to be sold and then split according to whatever they agreed on. So they can't take payments. The asset needs to be dissolved out of their name. That's taxes, that's everything. And then they need to be paid their proceeds and then go their separate ways. So it makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about if they say, oh, it's a divorce, so we can't do seller financing. And you're like, well, what if I give you more money down? That doesn't change it. You can give them $1 million. It doesn't matter. And it makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about, which is why I think it's a good idea. Hey, keep posting these screenshots. Even if you know how to answer, just keep posting them. I think I'm going to do this like twice a week. Maybe every Tuesday and Thursday towards the end, I will go through some of these and kind of interpret them. All right, here's another one, because this one has help on it. It says, what is he saying? There's 2 more years to pay off his lien. Do I say I can take over the debt subject to then reconstruct the deal? All right, so what are we saying? What are we looking at? Seller has a 2.5-year balloon on the underlying note. Other than that, I'd potentially be able to make it make sense to him. Okay, so underlining note, anytime there's someone in real estate, they're talking about the note, the note, the note. That means there's a mortgage. Note is just another word for mortgage. So what he's saying is that the seller currently has a 2.5-year balloon on their mortgage right now. So essentially, we would just flip this over to either a subject to or a hybrid, depending on how much they want down versus how much they have left on their mortgage. But anyway, the takeaway from this one is note. Anytime a real estate agent says the seller has a note, or what's the note, they're asking what's the mortgage, what's the terms. If it's a seller finance and a real estate agent asks you what's the note, first of all, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because it's in the email that you guys send, but this is the seller finance amount, not the total purchase price, because it's the seller finance amount, because it's the note. It's just like the mortgage. It's the balance after we've given them their down payment. What's left? What's the note? Any questions about that? It's almost even kind of weird. Okay, cool. All right, does anybody have any other questions before I let you guys go for the night?
Hey, Sean, I got a question.
What's up?
So one offer that I sent one time, I asked a realtor, it was through email. I said, oh, what did I say? I said, sorry, my brother's here. I said, oh God. Oh my God, what was it? If you have any other listings or whatnot I have trouble selling that would like to be open to creative finance offer, and he just ignored me. So I'm just like,
okay.
I don't know.
I mean, again, some real estate agents, they've been burned before, or they don't like, or they don't understand, which is more likely. They don't understand creative financing, so they'll just ghost you. Just don't forget that the protocol for what we're doing is 95% of the time you're going to be told no.
Oh.
So, you can say everything perfectly, and if there's some underlying circumstances on why they don't want to proceed forward, they're just going to ghost you. That's okay. It comes with the territory. Move on to the next deal.
All right. I don't know. I just feel like that agent probably a rookie or something. Maybe, I don't know. But
I mean, it could be a myriad of things. The only thing that matters is that even if you knew right now the reason why they did not respond to you, does it change the fact that they didn't respond to you?
I mean, I replied back. So I mean,
no. What I'm asking you is, if you magically found out right now why they didn't respond to you, does it matter?
No, I don't think. Yeah. I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, don't even put any energy into it. They don't respond. They don't want to work with you. Whatever the situation is, you can say everything perfect. You're not going to be able to please everyone. How's that old ass saying go? You could be the sweetest peach in the bunch, but not everybody likes peaches. So,
what?
Yeah, I know. I'm old. I am old as dirt.
Where do you begin these days?
You guys don't understand how old I am. Yeah,
I don't want to know
that. But that basically means is that you could be the nicest person in the world, and there's still going to be people who don't like you. Who gives a shit? Focus on the people who do like you. Focus on the real estate agents that do respond to you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and just build relationships with them too. So
there you go. James,
right.
You just caught us, man. Oh wait, hold on, Kevin. Did that answer your questions?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. James, you just caught us. We're about to sign off. What's up, dude?
Yeah, no, I know. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had a couple questions throughout, but they end up getting answered. So I got two things.
Okay.
Is it okay to use ChatGPT to switch up the template a little bit? Because I got cussed out the other day about the template. and you're sending a template. I said, hello, I'm an investor. I sent you an offer. I'm just following up. This real estate agent just went off. You sent me a template. I don't look at templates. This, that. So this is just one case scenario or whatever. But can we use ChatGPT just to spruce up the wording of the deal sniper offer?
Oh yeah, I don't see any issue with that. As long
Okay.
as your chat GPT doesn't change the terms, like as long as the numbers are the same, the layout's fine. However, I don't think that's what that real estate agent was talking about.
He's having a bad day.
It's not even that. I mean, no. I mean, yeah, obviously that also. You don't
It was anti-wholesaler. I got to the bottom. It was anti-wholesaler.
Right, but it could be a lot of times when they see our email. Oh, here, I'll give you guys this one because it fits. I want to send it to me on paper, or I won't look at this. I need something on paper. They just want a contract.
Yeah, I've
So
done that before.
sometimes they can say a template. They can refer to, I don't look at templates, and they just want a contract. So now this real estate agent, obviously you said you just figured out that it was anti-wholesaler, but if you had not figured that out, you could just say, sure, I can email you a contract, no problem. Is this your email address? And then send them their email address just to make sure. Whatever, because you're trying to get an answer. You guys want an answer as fast as possible. The answer, and you found it out quick, so good job. They're anti-wholesaler. If you didn't find that out and you said, would you like me to just send you a contract? Is this your email address, or can I send it to this email address? That's a better one. You can say, then you'll find out the answer, which is no, you're a wholesaler. I don't want to work with you. Or yes, then I will look at it, but I'm not going to look at what you sent me. Okay, now you've got your answer. It's either yes or no. That's how I would handle something like that. Just, but which you did. You got straight to the point, so that's good.
Hey, Sean.
Right. So
Hold on one second,
the
Kevin.
question, so 2 more questions, real quick ones though. And now with the real estate agents, is it an issue to send, like if they have 3 properties that numbers fit, numbers work, can we send 3 offers? Or is it like,
if you're going to do that, I would call them.
Okay.
I would call, well, no, you can do it 2 ways. I would call them. If you prefer not to be on the phone, or it's not the way you like to do things, then I would send them an email and I would say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I noticed you have this property, this property, and this property listed on market. Nice job, by the way. I can tell you're developing your presence in that area. Well done. Just that I was about to send you an offer on these properties. It's going to be a creative offer. Are any of these properties not open to a creative offer? Absolutely. Or absolutely not open to a creative offer. Then, again, you get to the point. None of them are interested in creative offers. Cool. You just saved yourself having to send out 3 emails. Or getting on the phone with a realtor. Or if you ask it properly, which one of these are not open to it, or which one of these are open to it, then they'll tell you, hey, this one's not, but this one is, and this one is. Okay, cool. All right, great. Thank you so much. I'm going to send you those offers here in a few minutes. Then you just copy. You don't copy the fluff. And let me go to it. I'll make sure you guys can see this. So I wouldn't copy this, especially if you've already spoken to them or emailed them and they said, hey, this property is interested, but this one and this one wouldn't be. Then I wouldn't send all this part in the beginning. I'd cut that out, hi, whatever their name is, and then here's the offer for that property that we were talking about. Here's what I'm thinking. The rest of this you can use, but this part you don't need. And then if it's 3 properties, I would generate all 3, and then I'm just taking this from each one.
Right.
So
straight to the point.
Yep. Here's the offer for this one, and then below it, here's the offer for this one, and then below it, here's the offer for this one. Let me know if any of these numbers work or if you have any questions.
Okay.
That's if they own more, if they're listing more than one. It could be 2, it could be 20. That's how.
Right.
If it's 20, I would definitely call though.
Okay. Now, last one. So foreclosures. Now, real estate agent sent me, met her. She declined on an offer earlier, I think Saturday.
Okay.
got back with her on Monday, and we talked. She was going to see some land and stuff like that. So I was just talking to her or whatever. So I was like, hey, if you got off market deals, send them to me. She sends me 4. Now these are
Oh,
pre-foreclosure, right? So
okay.
she sent me 4 off market deals. They're all but here's the thing. The closing date is next week. So this has to be, I have cash buyers running the numbers right now. I have 4 cash buyers running numbers
Wait,
right
wait,
now.
wait, wait, wait. What's closing next week? What's
I
happening
want to
next
say
week?
I want to say it's the foreclosure date.
Like the auction date?
Yeah.
All they have to do is put it under contract. Don't stop.
Oh, okay. So as
Yeah,
long as we get it under contract before that date, we're good.
I would get it under contract sooner rather than later, and then tell the owner or the realtor, whoever you're communicating with, hey, take this contract now that it's signed and turn it into your representative that's handling your foreclosure. Because if you have a purchase to sell, then that pauses it doesn't stop it, it doesn't cancel it, it pauses it. And it'll pause it for the same length as your closing period. So if you put on the contract, let's say it's today, right? Today's the 13th. Let's say I
Hmm.
put on there a closing date is on or before July 13th. That means that if it doesn't close on July 13th, then they just pick a new auction date in a week or so, and then they proceed. If it does close, foreclosure's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You closed. You sold it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
get a contract over to that seller immediately and tell them to turn it into their rep for their bank that's handling the foreclosure. It'll stop it or pause it.
Okay. Yeah. The only caveat with that is they won't accept any blind offers. So I got to set up an appointment, and I'm going out there with my buyers. As soon as they run the numbers tonight, we're basically scheduling appointments tomorrow to go see them. But just so because they want somebody, you have to see it first before you can submit an offer.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that can absolutely work, and chances are they may know that already too. But so I would bring it up because some people, I don't know, they've got like egos. I mean, part of me has an ego too, but most of me doesn't really give a damn. So instead of telling them what to do because they may already know that, then you can just mention it. You can say something like, is your if you're dealing with a real estate agent directly, is the seller in contact already with their rep from the bank so they can turn in the contract to pause the foreclosure? You can just ask that question. So now you're asking, assuming that that's already been done, meaning
Right.
everybody that's involved, you guys know what you're doing. I'm just checking. And then if they haven't done it, they'll either do it, or if they don't know that's a thing, you can tell them. So it opens
Right.
the door.
Okay. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Wait, how do you know the cash buyers are not going to snake you out your deal?
Friends.
Oh, okay, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Because
Once
you're
you
in a
build
great situation right now.
yeah, I know, right? Once
I'm
you
new.
build it,
I'm trying to get where you're at. Like believe you me, I'm new. I'm not even a month in with Deal Sniper. So, but yeah, I'm basically just like I said, I take the jewels you guys give. Definitely been building out and talking to real estate agents and things like that more. And initial contact without even looking at listings. I just want to see where they're at with their listing and see what's going on, and as far as them closing deals and things like that. So I'm just trying to get into their world and be like, hey, well, this is where I can help. So
That's
that's
good.
been, and I've been getting emails back and things like that. And out of the blue here's the deal. Numbers might not work, but hey, but at least the conversation is being had.
yep. I would much rather you guys turn down a deal from a real estate agent to not waste their time. Like you're like, I might be able, like a homestead buyer deal. If you're building a relationship with an investor and they send you one and you're trying to impress them, it's going to impress them more if you tell them, hey, I'm not going to waste your time telling you that this deal's going to move. I'm not confident that this one's going to move. So I'm going to pass on this one. Most importantly, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, time is the most important thing. I want to make sure I don't waste it. So they're going to respect you and send you more for that than if you would have just bullshitted them. It's like, oh, yeah, I can close anything. And then 2 weeks later, what happened? It's like, sorry. They're not going to send you another deal. Tell them no.
Yeah, no, I always put that, hey, if you have any other opportunities as far as your listings or know anybody that does, feel free to reach out. Love to keep in touch. And, that way it's always keeping it professional and things like that. So it's been a positive reaction as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. And then if you guys want to take it a step above, once, because I know there's people on here that have gotten deals already and have been paid for deals. When you do that and it's a deal sniper deal, I don't give a damn where that real estate agent is. Send them lunch. It's Uber.
Yes.
It's DoorDash. It's, you know, whatever. Send them lunch. Shit. Send their office muffins or donuts. Call them up. Hey, what's the best donut shop or pastry shop around your office or in your neighborhood? They'll tell you.
To do that Friday.
Yep. And then, oh yeah, because you got Japonica about to close, huh?
Yeah, and then
That's what's up.
the Texas one.
Yep. Show off. Anyway, that's
So
exactly
you said do that once we're basically headed to close, or do we do that prior?
No, I would do it once it closes. 'Cause
Okay.
You don't want to ring the dinner bell too soon. So once
Right.
it closes, you Uber or DoorDash or whatever you want to use them either something for the office if you want to really show off. Think of it like this. It's like dating in the beginning. For me, if I wanted to make a statement, I could send this whatever chick that I like, I could send her lunch at her office. But if I want to make an impression, no, I'm sending her whole office lunch. Because not only is everyone going to be like, who is this from? Where did it come from? And now they're eating, because everyone likes to eat. It's probably what it is. So now they're eating, and they're talking about me. Who's this person, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor? Oh, yeah, it's a wholesaler. I just closed a deal with that property that I couldn't move. They found a buyer for it. We closed, and I guess this is a lunch. Oh, well, what's their contact information? I got a deal that won't move.
The whole team, though?
Because that's why you do this. So it's a lot like a negotiator. You like a police negotiator. You want to send something if you want to cut down costs, because I know what you're thinking. That could be expensive. Then you send something where you get a lot for little, like donuts, muffins, pastries, 2 pizzas. Even if you spend $100 on pizzas and sodas for an office,
It's a return on investment.
Exactly.
Yeah, edible arrangements, things like that.
Yeah, and it's $100. You just got a whatever $1,000 assignment. Spend $100 to build that relationship. They're gonna send you more.
How would you
want to send you more? What?
It's
how
a
would you
tax
go
write-off.
about like how would you go about like asking that, like, oh,
Me personally, because I'm crazy, I wouldn't ask. I'm giving you guys different things like, hey,
You know,
what's the
figure
best
it out.
donut shop in the area and all that stuff. But I mean, again, I have their name and the company they work for from the original listing on Redfin. I would just Google that company and then figure out what's nearby that I want to send them, and then just tell them, oh, hey, by the way, this is again after we close. Oh, but it was awesome working with you. I really appreciate it. Make sure you're at your office next week on Tuesday. I ordered whatever for you guys. It'll be there at noon. It's under your name. It's just a gift from me. It was a pleasure working with you. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Let me know when you got the next one. Done.
Because I didn't want to order nothing and you not even be in the office. And
Yeah, that's so once
if
you can order it, you order it for, you don't have to order it and have it delivered the same day you close. It's just a gesture. You want to do it within a week. And then if let's say your deal closes tomorrow, that's Wednesday, do it for next Wednesday. And then you can, once you order it, you can tell them, oh, by the way, make sure you're at your office next Wednesday around lunchtime. I sent you guys, whatever, as a thank you. Like I said, it was a pleasure working with you. I'm looking forward to working with you again. So, hit me up when there's the next one. But make sure you're there. It'll be in your name. Because then, oh, I'm not going to be there that day. Okay, cool. I've got time to change it. Oh, no big deal. I can change it. What day will you be there? Oh, I'll be there on Thursday. Okay, cool. I'm going to send it Thursday at noon for lunch. Don't buy lunch. It's coming. Or don't buy dessert. It's coming. I just do it. So you can ask, but again, I'm
likely to be surprised.
I'm trying to make an impact. So I don't ask permission. I just say I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to tell her like, oh yeah, I'm doing it, and it's gonna be there at this time. And
yeah.
She can't even say no. It's already on the way. Exactly.
And then again, if they're not going to be there on that day, you set it out far enough where it's like, oh yeah, no big deal. I just switch it to the next day you're going to be there. When are you going to be there? Oh, you don't have to send me anything. No. I love eating. I don't know about you, but I like food. And I looked it up. I ordered it from this place. This place is supposed to be good. It's already paid for. It's already coming down there. What day are you going to be there? Like I'm like, this is happening. You know what I mean? Like that's the attitude. And again, I'm trying to change the narrative of how people see wholesalers. So I'm going to do what other wholesalers are not doing. So now when another wholesaler reaches out to my real estate agents standards are so high, I don't have to worry about competition. Ever. That's the last thing I've ever worried about with my real estate agents. Not that it's a big deal if they start working with another wholesaler, but if they've got deals to give out, I want them. So yeah, I'm going to make an impact. I'm just going to do it.
That's the least I can do. I done put this lady through hell.
Exactly. Let's see. Kevin, you were next. What's up?
Can you hear me? My headphones just died.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think from the template, and I think I kind of like said this before. I think I already said this before, but regarding with the template, because a lot of realtors are now starting to notice that like a lot of them are receiving like a similar template from other people, and like it feels like now like we're all like within this community are like trying to are about to like get insulted by like a lot of these realtors, be like, hey, like I got the same offer or all this blah blah blah. Next thing you know they say, oh, never contact me again or whatnot. Are you aware of that?
That's something that's going to happen with this type of marketing regardless. Like that's not something, because other than changing and again, if you can change every letter, if you want to, you can put it into ChatGPT or whatever, you can do that. And you can actually instruct ChatGPT to say, hey, when I post this format, I want you to leave this information alone, but I want you to change up the rest of the information, the layout and everything, the wording, the verbiage, whatever. And I want you to have this type of tone. And every single time I upload one, I want you to change the tone to something different than the last one.
Yeah, because that's what I've been doing. And I made my own template, by the way. So like
Right,
that's so basically that won't be the case, but like I just don't know if that will kind of help, but who knows?
You can absolutely do that. It's going to add time to sending out your letters. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that this is not going to change, regardless of what you put wrap around it.
Do you think that the last part said like deferred capital gains, premium purchase price, and faster closing, is that like 100% required to be on within that template or not?
No, you guys can alter this template to say anything that you want that is legal or not obscene. Okay, but just make sure this doesn't change, because this or whatever numbers are generated, that's the important part. If you change this, then whatever numbers it came up with, or the cash on cash return, the cash flow, isn't going to work. So think of it like a present. You can change the packaging of a present, but you can't change what's inside. This is what's inside. But yeah, as far as the rest of it, change the wrapping paper all you want. So whatever you want. And you know what? I'd like to know, or you guys to let me know what's working and what's not working. Because me personally, the only thing I ever change is this. This is all I ever click. Sometimes if I'm feeling feisty, I'll use the one that I put in the cheat sheet. But not very often. Because once I get them on the phone, it doesn't matter what the wrapping paper is or none of that. None of that matters.
All right. I appreciate it though.
No problem. But again, though, Kevin, you have carte blanche to change whatever you want.
Yeah. I've been doing that since, so.
Nice. Good. Amber, I don't know if it was you or Keith first, but gentleman thing. So what's up, Amber? Hold on, Keith.
Yeah, thank you. So just real quick, because I'm information overload now. I just need to know if I want to ease away from Deal Sniper, how would you say I do those calculations without having Deal Sniper in front of me? So for instance, I did notice earlier with the off-market property, you changed the purchase price to about $20,000 more than what they were asking. Would you say that if it's on market, it would be about 40 to 43 above what they're asking, or how would you?
No. So this will calculate what the purchase price should be based off the rest of the numbers.
Well,
I
I mean,
added,
if I'm, wait, okay, let me listen. I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's okay. I added $20,000 just to make it more enticing because that's how this all started. So you can do that, but there's no number. You just have to. I can give you this. Let me do this real quick. Let me put one in. So we'll say for ease of numbers, it's $350,000 is what they wanted, right? That's $8 million. Okay, and then I want to give them 20. So $330,000 would be the seller financed amount. They would get $20,000 down, and then as far as this is concerned, for this example, it doesn't really matter. It's running for. So if they originally have it, and this is off market, on market, Deal Sniper, no Deal Sniper. I mean, again, Deal Sniper, awesome tool. It does everything for you. But for like brute force purposes, if someone is asking me for a $350,000 purchase price, then I'm going to work the numbers in my favor. Again, planting, saying this, don't say that. And I'm going to work it in my favor so that I can deliver my pitch or my offer smooth. So if they're doing 350 and I know that I can do up to $35,000 down, then I would do 370. And then this would be 350. This is me now changing the offer to what I would do to suit my needs. So based off of this, I would say, okay, here's what I can do, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Here's what I can do, Amber. You were originally asking me for a $350,000 purchase price. But since you're willing to consider creative financing, which is going to help me get this deal to my investors, it's going to help them cash flow, we want to take care of you. So here's what we're thinking. Instead of a $350,000 purchase price, I'll give you a $370,000 purchase price. I'll give you that extra $20,000 cash in your pocket at closing. I'll give you $1,000 a month, every single month in positive cash flow, and I'll get you paid off in 7 years. Can you make that work? So the reason why I did that is because I can go max 35. So I gave myself some wiggle room, but I basically just used math. I know that I can do 10% of the purchase price. And if I give them an extra 20 grand on the purchase price here, then that same down payment that I would have given them for this original purchase price, I can give that to them cash in their pocket at closing and not have to bring up, here's your down payment percentage. I'm not labeling it as a down payment. The extra money that I'm going to give you on your purchase price, I'm going to put that in your pocket cash at closing, and then I'm going to give you $1,000 a month. I didn't mention down payment because it's not framed as a down payment anymore. So I'm just using math. I kept it within the 10% that I'm allowed to do.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm just looking at what you put there. So even if I'm not using Deal Sniper, if they say they want, let's say 325, then that means that I would plug in about 345 or 350 for the purchase price, and then calculate they're getting 2025 or whatever.
Yes.
And work from there.
You want to raise if again, this is the brute force way, not calculating, what the interest would be over the term and all that stuff. But you want to give them you want to give them an over asking price, and the part that's over, you want it to factor into your spiel for your down payment and fit in the numbers. So, and it's just got to make sense. I'll give you an example. So let's say they originally were asking for $100,000 as a purchase price, right? And then I would give them 10. Shit, that is wrong. I would give them 10, so they would be seller financing 90. Right, $10,000. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing again and watch how it's different. So now I'm going to give them $110,000 purchase price. Okay, they're going to finance $100,000. I'm basically just doing the same thing I did last time. But now, when I do the extra $10,000 over asking, well, I guess now I got to put it all in over here. Look how tight my deal is. So I can't use that now.
Gotcha.
Now
Okay.
I have to give them less. So now now it doesn't flow right. This is all about flow. Hey, I'm gonna give you 110. You were asking me for $100,000, but because you're willing to do creative financing, I'm gonna give you 110. Now I'm gonna give you $5,000 cash in your pocket at closing, and then at $275 a month positive. You see how it doesn't flow right? Like it just sounds off. I would much rather say, hey, you wanted 100, you willing to do this? I'm gonna give you 110. That extra 10 grand, I'm gonna put right in your pocket at closing, cash. And then I'm gonna give you $275 in positive cash flow every single month, and I'll get you paid off in 2 years, 3 years. Can you make that work?
Okay.
So I'm framing it differently, but you got to make sure the math adds up. You got to make sure it makes sense. So in this situation, if I can only give them $5,000, then I'm only going to raise this to $105,000 because now it flows better. That's all. You just have to make sure the maths.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. And then Darren, what's your name in the Discord?
Oh, my name is DJ with the
Just
Stewie little thing.
DJ. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Is
you.
that Stewie?
Yeah.
I was trying to see what that was. I love Stewie. If I had kids, Stewie would be my kid. It would be Stewie and Hit Girl.
Hit Girl?
Yeah, from Kick Ass. Those would be my kids. Oh hell! And when I get older, I'm gonna be Rick Sanchez. I can tell it. I can already tell. Once I hit 75, that's me. Rick Sanchez all day long, minus the burping. That's gross.
You do remind me of like Rick Sanchez, or like I don't know. You remind me of his dad, actually. Did I just insult you? No, Morty dad.
I'm sorry because we were friends a second ago.
No,
No,
the actual dad.
You didn't call me Jerry. You just called me the cuck of the show.
Hey, he has his moments, Sean.
No, he does not. No, he doesn't. He had one moment where he stole from Rick or from Morty and left him. That was his only moment. Oh, Darren, you better hope I don't ever like visit your state, dude. You just call me Jerry.
My bad.
Keith, did you still have a question, dude?
Yeah, a super silly question. Anyone can probably answer it. I'm in California, so I'm way behind everyone. What time is the latest I can call people, realtors and sellers?
I wouldn't call a realtor, call them. I wouldn't call them after 5 p.m. their local time, and I wouldn't text them after 6 p.m. their local time.
Oh,
but
okay.
Shooting emails out, I shoot
all
emails out at midnight. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to wait. It's not going to disturb anyone. No one's phone's going off for an email most of the time.
Okay, got it. So 6 latest for text, 5 not after 5 for calls. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I mean it's just a rule of thumb. Everyone's a little bit different. Some like me, you can call me till midnight and I'm working, but not everybody does that. So some people, just keep it safe. And then if you want to double check, you say, hey, once you get them on the phone or you're talking or you're chatting, texting, whatever, just say, hey, real quick, I work kind of late. What's too late to contact you in case I have an update or I have a question?
Okay. And what are some good markets like in, I don't know, Mountain Time, Pacific Time? I know California is good, but it's super expensive. Arizona, I called a bunch of times. I was looking at New Mexico. Do you think that's good to reach out to?
Arizona is amazing.
New Mexico is good. I was going to say Arizona, Yeah, Scottsdale, Chandler, Phoenix, Tucson especially. St. Louis is good. Kansas City is good.
Okay.
Indiana is good too.
I don't think I've done one in Indiana recently, but
I know Indiana's good. That's Eastern though. Okay.
I would say go for it.
How long do y'all will stay in one market at a time? Because there's only so many still. Yes. Okay. So there's awesome.
No. That's another thing I see people doing. Let me show you guys this too. Damn, I feel bad for the people who jumped off when I said, "All right, guys, I'm done." When you do this and you put your okay, so you put in your max, and then that's obviously the only thing that I do, right? Well, you see how it says there are 7 homes. Well, that's obviously not going to work. but you got to zoom out because you got to remember you're doing the whole city of Cincinnati. So now I got 467 and I'm still not zoomed out all the way. If I really wanted to do this, I would do, give me my draw tool. Can I do a circle? I would go just like this.
Oh, that's cool.
I got 609 homes that I can put in offers on. Once I've exhausted all of them, and when I say exhausted, I really hope you guys are following up like I tell you guys to, and I know most of you are. But if you're new or you're scared or whatever, watch the live from last night because that one was apparently fire. But you can call, let me show you something. You can call every single one of these real estate agents, every single one of them, if you're new, and do a pitch and botch it. I mean, completely wreck it. They laugh at you, they cuss at you, doesn't matter. To all 609 of them. By the time you get to 608, you're a pro. And this is one city. So now, if you really want to, once you've honed your skill and burned through 609 phone calls to hone your skill, all you got to do is pick another city. And then you go to this city, you put in the same criteria, but guess what? This 3,000 or so people that you're going to talk to, they don't know you as the guy who doesn't know or the girl who doesn't have their spiel down. When they talk to you, you're going to be polished. You're going to be professional because you've already done 609. And now you've got all these fresh properties that don't know who you are with you armed with your perfect spiel because you did it 609 times before. Now these people stand no chance against you. So if you're afraid to get on the phone with the realtor, don't be. You need to. You're not wasting anything. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. They're not going to pop up at your house and kneecap you. Nobody's going to, the worst thing they're going to do is laugh or say something jacked up. So what? You're honing your craft. You're practicing. And then once your skill is set and you know what you need to say, you know what you don't need to say, you know what works, you know what doesn't work, you move to a different area. And then you work the system. That's how you get good. So when I say you don't have to get on the phone, you don't have to, but you should. Any questions? Hold on, let me go back to the page because I can't see anybody. Munir, what's up, dude?
Hey Sean, I'm currently stuck, so I sent out 10 or 11 offers yesterday, and 2 of them replied, but one of them was actually interested in what I had to say. So she said, I would like to visit with you about this tomorrow. When is a good time to call? I said I'm going to call her today, and she said, good morning, that would be great. The seller will need 1,700 a month. And the estimated rent is $1,640. And we will need more of a down payment to make the purchase work. Would you mind discussing with your partners prior to the call?
Okay. All right. So they told you what they wanted. So now what you need to do is you need to go to the calculator. Is it a seller finance, a hybrid, a sub 2? What is it?
Seller finance.
So put all your numbers in here. Put in and this is your deal sniper numbers, not what they're asking you for. Put your deal sniper numbers in here. Go to the seller finance tab. Put the taxes and the insurance in, the HOA if there is one. Put the monthly payment that deal sniper says to do. Actually, do you have the numbers? We can just do it. You want to just do it? Do you have the taxes, the insurance? Like, do you have it pulled up on deal sniper?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Let's just do it. What's the purchase price?
Okay, the purchase price is $225,500.
Okay, what's the seller finance amount?
$210,500.
Okay. Oops, that is way
And
too much. Hold on one second. Okay, so you got a down payment of what, 15 grand?
50, yeah. what I was actually thinking about doing was getting rid of my 7K assignment fee and giving them 2K from my assignment fee for the down payment, just so they'd accept, because I really want to close this deal.
What are
But
the taxes and insurance?
taxes here, I'll actually have to pull it up again.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, does anyone else have a question? I'm going to get myself some tea.
What kind of tea? Chamomile.
No. Ew.
Oh. Brisk?
No. Ew. Worse. Ew.
Oh,
I know.
okay. Yeah, I was about to say what? Oh,
No,
come on now.
I just drink cold green tea.
Oh, got you.
Well,
Okay. Right to the point, nice and simple.
Yeah.
I love green tea.
No. Oh, but I do. I put a few bags of peppermint tea in my big bucket that I make, my jug of iced tea.
Nice.
So it's like peppermint green tea. Because green tea by itself, by the way, you called me Jerry, so I don't mind saying this. Green tea by itself tastes like dirt.
It's not that bad.
It tastes
It's
like
it is kind of bitter. It has
tastes
a
like,
bite to it.
It tastes like earth.
It's not a good bite.
The grass.
like
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's I don't do that. I gotta put a little bit of mint in there, but I also don't drink anything hot. Like I don't eat soup. I don't drink
Oh
hot.
yeah, you don't
tea.
like to eat, Sean. I remember.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee that's
Leave it
hot.
desert.
I don't drink coffee at all. But
You don't drink iced coffee?
I have to really be in the mood for an iced coffee to drink.
Gross.
Yeah.
I'm not a real big coffee.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee guy either. It just
You know what I drink more often than not? You know what I drink a gallon of a day? Water. Water. And but it's sparkling. Flavored sparkling water is what I drink. I
There's
drink 5 cases a week.
There's a brand that I tried the other day. It's called Hint. Comes in a can. It's Hint with an H. Oh my God, it's so good. I tried like a peach watermelon, but it's sparkling water. It was amazing.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, delicious.
You found it?
Yeah, I lost connection. But
okay. Hey, quick question. What's your name on Discord?
Oh, it's on it's Povix.
POVI. I just saw your DM. Okay, cool. All right. So you got the tax and insurance?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
Taxes is $3,004.32.
And then what's the insurance?
$861.
Okay, and then what's the monthly payment?
The monthly payment is, let me see, $700.
Okay. So here's your deal as it stands right now, per what we offered them. And you're saying that they want $1,700 a month and a bigger down payment.
And more of a down payment, correct?
All right. So now you do know it's not going to work, right?
Correct.
At $1,700 because it's only bringing in $1,650.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to put in 1,700, yeah, it's negative 27. So here's what I would do. First of all, do they know you're wholesaling the deal?
Well, I said my partners are the ones that are making the purchase.
Okay. So I would tell them that your partners are looking to cash flow. They're going to put a tenant in their cash flow. And at $1,700 a month, it's not going to cash flow. It actually has negative cash flow because we can only rent the thing out for $1,650. That's what you're going to say. That's how you're going to say it. We can only rent it out for $1,650. So I can't give your seller or your client $1,700 a month and then still pay the taxes, the insurance, and everything, the maintenance, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's only bringing in $1,650. So, and here's what I can do. I know that you said you wanted more of a down payment, and then obviously you want more of a monthly payment. So I can do either or, but I can't do both. So which one would you guys prefer? And then you ask them, like that's how you're asking them, what do you want? You can only have one. You either want more of a monthly payment, or you want more of a down payment. And then as far as the calculator is concerned, again, the deal is in here the way Deal Sniper says. So I'm just going to go up on the monthly to figure out what my max is, which isn't much. It's $850.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the highest you can go on the monthly payment. And then if I were to put this back to 700 and then go to the inputs, let's see what it looks like if I give them the max here. It would be $22,500.
I was thinking 17 because I think from that I would only make like $800 or $500.
What if you did it this way?
If I did 22,000 down, because my assignment is 7,550.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it, and the deal would still work if you want to make 7,000 on this deal. I mean, I can bump it up to 10.
Wait.
And your deal's a little. I mean, it's a little on the high side, actually. If I just, it's probably.
Oh, okay.
Probably
Because
down.
I thought I had to lower my assignment just to raise the down payment.
No. I mean, sometimes, yeah, sometimes you do, but only if you're going higher than the 10% maximum. Then it starts cutting into your assignment fee. I mean, in all honesty, it's the bare minimum, but this deal could absolutely. That's not the bare minimum; it's a little more than that. But this deal would work with a $10,000 assignment fee. You could probably get it moved.
Okay. I was thinking if I should do a 6-year balloon.
That would work on this purchase price. That's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually call her right now, and I'm gonna present her the offer. What should I say?
You're gonna say that your partners are planning on putting tenants into cash flow. You've done the research on the property, and it'll only rent for about $1,650 a month. So obviously, we can't give your client $1,700 a month because then the deal will have negative cash flow. And you can even put the deal in here like this to give her the number and say, if we give your seller $1,700 a month, it would cost us $7,435 a year just to own the property. Negative cash flow. So it's not going to work.
Okay, got it.
So here's what I can do, Mr. Is it a female or male?
Female.
So here's what I can do, Mrs. Realtor. I can either give you a little bit more on the down payment, or I can go a little bit higher on the monthly payment. I have a little bit of wiggle room, not a lot. If we change it up too much, my investors won't be able to cash flow, and they will have no incentive to buy the deal. I'm not here to waste your time. I don't want to waste the seller's time, and I don't want to waste my time.
Okay.
And then give her the numbers. I can either give you $850 a month, and this is with my, make sure you reiterate, this is with my partner paying the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance. This money that your seller is going to be getting is free and clear for them to keep. Just pure positive cash flow. Or we can keep it at $700 a month, and instead of me giving you $15,000 down, I can give them $22,000 down. But that's, again, just about my math. Which one of those do you think they would prefer?
Should I offer the 6-year balloon with both?
Keep it in your back pocket.
Okay.
And then if they bring it up, say, absolutely. If they want to take either one of these deals, I can get them paid off in 6 years. And just so you know, 5 is your actual minimum.
Oh, so I should do 5?
No, I would still stick to 6 or 7. And then if it, to get the deal done, if you got to do 5, then yeah, go for it. But keep it in your back pocket.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Anybody else have a question?
Hey, Sean, what does CC'd mean?
With CC, where do you see that?
Like, it's been sent to title. They'll be CC'd on everything.
Yeah, it's carbon copy. Like when you CC someone on an email.
Oh, you just trying to be fancy.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that's the way you say it. There's CC and then there's BCC, which is blind carbon copy. So I'll explain it to you. Let's say I send out an email, or you send out an email to a real estate agent. You and this real estate agent have been talking back and forth, but you want me to see it, but you don't want the real estate agent to know that you have me see it. Then you would add my email address to the BCC part, which is blind carbon copy, which means whoever else you're talking to can't see that I can also see it. If you put it under CC, which is carbon copy, that means that it's going to go to the person who you originally meant to send it to, and the person that you put in the CC spot so they can see what's going on as well. But everyone will be able to see that everyone can see everything. That's all.
Oh, okay.
It's not used very often nowadays.
It's like an old head term.
I don't know about all that. You're on a roll today, man. You know, you're doing real good. I just wanted you to know you're doing real good. Fucker. Anyway, I can't believe you called me Jerry. I can't believe. I almost want to fight you. I can't believe you called me Jerry. That's all right. Your commission check, I'm gonna have this send it to you in pennies. Munir, what's up, dude? You got another question?
I just wanted to ask you if you could send like the clip, the recording really fast so I could write it as a script, and then when I'm talking to her, I could just say it.
Oh no, I can't. I can send it to you, obviously, but we've been on here for what time did we start? 3:30. We've been on here for a hot minute, so it's gonna take a while to render. Usually they're not ready until the next morning.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
See ya.
How do you play your game while uploading? Like, is your internet that good?
What do you mean?
Like, if you're uploading a 2-hour video,
Oh,
like
how
that don't be slowing down your games?
No. You want to hear something crazy? Like, oh, you guys can't hear it. Yeah, I tried that last time. Don't laugh or whatever. I don't know if Jerry could do this, but every training that we're on, every one-on-one or whatever, on my computer in the top corner, I'm watching TV, or at least part of me is. I am watching, like right now, I'm watching Family Guy. Ever since you brought up Stewie, I was watching Rick and Morty. I switched to Family Guy. I've been watching Family Guy and following along while doing all this. So, yeah, my computer can play games. Not that I don't have like a crazy computer, but yeah, uploading the videos while watching TV, while playing games, while answering questions on Discord. Yeah, we're doing it. No, none of this stuff slows me down. If I want to play the game when I'm still working, I'm going to do it. Unless I'm in like a boss fight or something, then I'll pause it if someone has a question. The only thing that I don't do while I'm working is VR.
Oh, yeah, that would be
impossible.
impossible.
I can't do. Yeah, I don't. I tried it once and I almost pulled it off, but I can't work as fast on the calculator or Deal Sniper with the VR controllers versus a mouse and keyboard. That's the only reason why I don't do it.
No way you actually tried that.
I don't know if I can do it, so I'm gonna try it.
That's true.
All right, so I'm gonna let you guys go for the night unless you have any other questions. This recording will be up tomorrow morning. I will be actually I have a meeting with my team coming up here in about 7 minutes that I almost forgot about. So I will be available in the Discord, but probably not for an hour or so. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you later. See ya.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
No problem.
Appreciate it.